Recording. Okay. All right. So the last thing I was saying was about lying and exaggerating. Try not to lie, obviously. If you have lied, please make sure that you have a very good backup because usually they will catch you. And try to please make sure everybody's mute. Yes.
Zishan Rafiq,
And
please mute yourself. Zishan Rafiq. Thank you.
thank you. And never exaggerate. So never be like, oh, I was the best teacher, or like, my examination has had the best record, and my students have had like from 0 to 100% record. If you exaggerate too much that I know everything, nobody likes a person who's kind of comes on the border of overconfident. So try not to over exaggerate or exaggerate at all. Be very humble. If you don't know something, be honest that right now I cannot think. Maybe sometimes during the interview process we are nervous. Sometimes there's a problem with the way the question is being asked. Maybe there's something with the internet. So there can be lots of problems. If you don't know, just be like, I'm sorry, I don't know it right now. And that's it. And you don't have to be shameful about it. You don't have to be like, oh my God, why did I not know? But please make sure that you at least know everything about your subject. You know everything about the curriculum you're going to teach, and you know everything that is written in your CV. That if you like, if there's something that they ask any of these three things and there's something you don't know, that's a problem. But let's say that's something outside, maybe something regarding teaching methodologies and theories and way to handle students. In that aspect, let's say if you don't know something, that's okay. So that's something you have to be careful with. Then try not to use slang like gonna, wanna. Don't use that kind of language. Don't be too casual. Hi, hey, don't use this. Be very formal. Um, Make sure that you're like not too like far down in your camera and like you're moving so much that it's hard for the interviewer to see you. It's very important that they can see you enough, they can see your face, but it's not like your face is cut. Please make sure that they can see you very well. They can completely like evaluate you, even as it should look like as if you're just right in front of them. So that's very important. Then so that's pretty much like everything you need to cover. Now, please work on your like introductions. Make sure that where they're concise and they're clear. There is only three things that you need to talk about in your introduction as a teacher, because you're applying as a teacher. One is who you are, as like what kind of teacher you are, what's your qualification, what's your teaching experience. Anything extra that doesn't fall into this category, you should not speak about it. Then you should always have one example prepared from your lesson. Make sure it's like topic is prepared in your mind, that this, for example, like I was teaching like for example in English language, maybe I was teaching writing system, I was teaching literary devices, I was teaching writer's effect. In science it could be like the systems or the environment, anything related to plants. There's one topic. If it's mathematics, you can pick up any single thing. Let's say it's LCM. So you should have one, and you can use it in like multiple interviews. If you have like 3 interviews, you can use the same example in 3 of them, no problem. But you should know everything about your subject. Then be confident. There's a very fine difference between being confident and being overconfident. Overconfident means you're being rude, you don't listen carefully, you like laugh in a very rude manner, like you snicker. So you can't do that. So be very confident. Make sure that you have read your CV very well, you have good knowledge of your subject, and you have good knowledge of the curriculum. That's very important. Especially like in Saudi Arabia, they follow most like 70% there's Cambridge curriculum. Then you have American curriculum as well. You also you have IBDP curriculums. So the school that you're applying to, you should know everything about the curriculum. So let's say if it's you're like applying to a Cambridge system, please know what course outline do we have. Please know what the syllabus is like. What is the IGCSE exam like for grade 9 and 10? Even if you're teaching middle school, let's say, even if you have experience of teaching grade 5 and 6 or 4 and 5, you know what you're preparing your students for. So you should be able to say that, well, the exam has had this many papers, this is the pattern, these are the objectives, these are the assessment objectives. Most of now, right now, in international spectrum, most of the books that are being used are by Cambridge University Press, most of them. There's different kinds of books, but they are all by the same publisher, which is Cambridge University Press. So they have like a specific way to do things. Like they have assessment objectives at the end of the lesson. There is a checklist that you can make sure that you can ask. There's scheme of work that they share with you. There's teaching resources, digital and hard copy. The digital one is Cambridge Go, where you can get there's a website where you put in a code and they give you access to books, audios, downloadable worksheets, teaching resources, multiple things, especially if it is provided by the school. So it usually is provided by the school. The teacher does not buy it. So make sure you know about it. Even if you have never used it, just go and research. Be aware of like Kahoot and Quizlet. If you're a computer teacher, like Scratch, any platform where like you can do games or quizzes, flashcards. There's like Save My Exams. There's many other different kinds of websites that you use. Make sure that you can also give examples of certain YouTube channels that you use to take videos from for your students. Make sure that you're talking about technology during all of your interview. So that's very important. And you should be able to relate it. So for example, now a lot of teachers in the recent interviews are talking about AI being very important. So yes, talk about AI, talk about AI being a very good helper to you. So also remember that it's the interview, it is very formal, but it's a two-way conversation. Treat it like a two-way conversation. Okay, so don't make it like you are somebody who is answering questions. Make it like that it's a two-way thing. Sometimes you will ask questions, sometimes they will ask questions, but they are evaluating you for your confidence and for your subject knowledge. And just keep repeating, keep working on it, and inshallah you'll get it. So that's all from my side. Now you all can ask questions, but please raise your hands over there. So I will ask one by one, okay? Because it gets very noisy sometimes. Or if you want, you can put your questions in the chat. Okay, there's Umama Murtaza, and she has written a question that where can we get knowledge of these curriculums and teaching methods? For Cambridge, I can tell you, or for IBDP, you can just go on their website and say, like, let's say English curriculum for IGCSE. They will give you a PDF. There's a long PDF. There's like all kinds of things that you should be able to know. Assessment, objectives, components, exam marks, like the weightage, the divisions, every single thing. So you can get it about that. Teaching methods in KSA is not just limited to KSA. Basically, they're asking if you know everything about global teaching methods. There are global teaching methods right now. So you should know 21st century skills. These are the basic skills. You can learn it from YouTube. You can learn it, even if you just ask ChatGPT for 21st century skills, they will tell you. So inshallah, after this session, they will share a document with you. Just go through it and search all of the things that are in the document. Then let's see. We have Saman Kashif. Raise the hand.
Yes, Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you, ma'am. You have given us your but I have some questions. Like you have said that we need to be, clearly visible to the panel while we are doing interviews. So, is there any effect or if somebody is observing hijab?
I am very sorry, Saman. Your voice is not very clear. Can you speak a little bit loudly? It's very muddy.
Yes, I can speak a little louder. Am I audible to you now?
Yes, you're audible now. Please say.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask three questions, okay? So, for one, my first question is regarding if somebody is observing hijab, will it impact on the online interview? Because you said we need to be very very visible, clearly visible to them. So observing hijab can affect our interview.
Observing hijab in no way can affect your interview. It's very good if you're doing it. You just switch on your video, no problem. You have niqab, no problem. Completely okay.
Mhm.
But make sure your video is on.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much. Tell me one more thing. If we tell in when they are asking about why do you really want to join us, and if we give them points like I have previous experience living here back in when I was in my childhood, so I'm pretty much aware of the living standards and the life here going on, and it could these kinds of questions give them a good gesture for that. Another thing if we talk about that already my sister is living here for so long. So would these kinds of questions give a good impact when we say about something like this when we are giving
Sorry,
why
I will
we
stop
are
you there.
wanting to
Sorry,
join
sorry.
them?
Wait, someone, uh, very sorry. I lost you there. Can you instead write the question because the voice is, maybe it's on my end, but it's not very clear.
Oh, no problem. I can write it in the
Thank you. Until then, I'll answer another question. Yes, so we have,
so,
I'll go one by one. There's somebody saying I'm applying as Montessori class. Suggest something for me. My class are pre-junior classes. Suggest something like what? Do you mean you should work on your interview, make like your introduction, make sure that you can tell them that you are a good like all-rounder. You have basic knowledge for phonetics, basic counting, and that you can use all kind of aids, teaching aids, because there's a lot of language barrier because the students, a lot of them speak Arabic, so you can teach, you can work with them. That you have good experience managing students that might be a bit disturbed, they might not be very disciplined. That's it. What are, Sidra Kamal said, what are three main curriculum which you talk about? Cambridge, American, and IBDP. Then we have Miss Kandi tell us about lesson plans and terminologies. Yes, for lesson planning is just very basic. They ask you, it's sort of like make sure that if you're planning your lesson, you divide it in three parts. One is like 5 minutes for starting activity. It's like a game, or you can ask question, you can show them a video. Then it's your main lesson. And then in the end of the 5 minutes of your lesson, you do like a cross questioning. Maybe you do a small quiz. Maybe you do like some kind of game to see if the students understand what you're talking about. As for lesson plan writing, that one you do in documents and you submit to your school, it's like a proper document, Word document, and it's all about subject objectives, success criteria, requirements, and then you do the introduction, main, and reflection, also the homeworks. All of those things come in lesson planning. Then I did my master, but I can't talk in English. Yes. So yes, that's very important. I forgot about this topic about skills. Your skills to language, even if you don't have a very good accent, but you should be able to pronounce things very nicely. They're very impressed by that. I'm telling you right now, Saudi people, and especially Saudi hiring managers, they're really impressed by people who speak good English. So let's say you don't have an accent, but maybe you can just learn to pronounce the k, p, t, not k, p, and t. So you can work on saying anything that's related to your subject, the vocabulary, it should be very good. So it should always be like support, not support, or like basic words like and, not and, then, not then. So you should be able to pronounce these basic things. Work on this. Listen to a lot of videos, just generally like maybe watching proper English media, English social media, English videos. People are speaking in English. Just generally watch those and try to copy them. Then, because that's the fastest way you can improve. There are a lot of material, and also how can but I can't, yeah. There are lots of materials for science subjects too on IGCSE. Yes, there's a lot of material for IGCSE on every single subject. Just go on the Cambridge website. For every single course, there's a code. You can just get to the subject, look at the code, look at the full syllabus. And if you're talking about materials, other materials like platforms, yes, I'm sure there are many platforms. Try to use them, mention them. And then if someone has a PhD degree, first of all, a PhD is applying for this position. See, I'm not sure if lying is a good option, because I think when your documents go for attestation, I think the Saudi culture, the Saudi ministry in Pakistan, they attest the documents and they find it out from your universities if you have actually been a student. So I'm not sure, you can confirm this with somebody else also, that if you have done a PhD, maybe it will show as your last qualification in HEC. So that could be a problem. So you have to make sure that you are very careful with this thing. Asma Hamid asks, guide about computer teachers. What do you think better for us about interview? It's literally all the interviews are the same except the subject questions. They will ask you subject questions like, how do you teach programming to students? Like computer science, is divided into two components in Cambridge. One is the theory, and then one is about programming and logics, and one more thing. So they ask you questions like, if you need to teach algorithms, if you need to teach coding, how do you do that? What's your way to make it friendly? All of those things. Saira Ashif says, ma'am, please repeat the term you use for individual difference. Individual difference? Do you mean differentiation? Differentiation is like when you have a student that's weak, and then we also have inclusivity. That's about individual. Like inclusivity is like when you want to include all the students. That's it. So I'm not sure individual, it's an oxymoron, individual and difference. Ma'am, can we choose lectures topic? No, they choose the topic for you and you have to prepare on it. So they will always choose it for you. So sometimes they will share the topic with you, and sometimes they will just, they will also share the pictures from the book. So it really depends, but they will give it to you. Yes. Todd, tell us about expected salary experienced person can get. The salary ranges anywhere from 4,000 or 5,000 to 8,000, 9,000, depending on where you're applying and what the school is paying. Like what kind of position does the school have? It really depends. There are schools that are paying 2,000, and then there are schools that are paying 9,000. So it really varies.
Hello, ma'am.
Can you please suggest some YouTube channels from where I can learn 21st century skills and others? I've seen your CV where I see a lot of, another question is, if I have seen your CV where I see a lot of certification. You have seen my CV, okay. I'm biology teacher. Can you please suggest some platforms online where I can get some valid certificates? Well, I would suggest the basic ones because they're legit. edX, Coursera, FutureLearn. These three websites are very good. But you can also, I think these ones, and then you can also go to British Council website and you can take some educational and teaching certificates from there. And you can also, you can try going on Cambridge, but Cambridge does not do qualifications unless you're a part of the school. Try going to British Council. They have a lot of online sessions and webinars and certificates you can get online for free. And you have, if you want to do courses for biology, go to edX, go to Coursera, go to FutureLearn. They have very good MOCs. They are very good.
Hello, ma'am. Are you listening?
But remember that at the end of the day, it's your skills and your experience. So that's it. My English language skills are not good because I come from a backward area. Please give me some suggestions. Please, for everyone, just please watch a lot of videos. Make sure you try to speak a lot. Practice in the mirror or practice with your friend or your siblings or your parents. Make them the interviewer. Ask them to ask you questions. Even if you cannot speak very good English, at least prepare for your interview very good. So if you practice it enough times, like let's say you're preparing for your introduction, prepare it so many times that when on the interview day, it flows naturally. So that will help you. If Irfa Basi says, I don't have enough experience in teaching, no problem. Enough experience is never a problem. 1 year, 2 years is fine. Even if you have, that's fine. I have an MS in biotechnology currently, working as a lab technologist. I don't have certification in teaching. Should I go for these? You should. You should definitely go. If you think you have the skills and you think you can know everything that you need to know about teaching methodologies, yes, you should. Learn about how are people teaching right now in international schools. And after the session, they will share with you a document which will have a few links also. Go to those links. You can see a lot of YouTube videos about like how should you teach in a 21st century classroom. You will learn a lot of these things and you can use all of them. I have an MPhil degree in applied psychology and I'm currently working as a psychologist. But besides that, I have 1 year experience as an English teacher. Okay. For this one, I would suggest you have to have a relevant degree. It's very important. They ask a lot of questions. If you don't have a relevant degree, they don't even shortlist the CV. So, for example, if you're psychology, maybe you can go for science subjects. Maybe you have a better chance there instead of coming to English, because there's no direct relationship unless you have a certification like a CELTA. That's a certification for English language teachers. So if you have, you can get a CELTA despite whatever background or major you have. So you can go there, and if you have that, yes, you can apply. Try to apply in your field. How can we give demo? It should prepare a 30-minute lesson plan. You have to be online. It's because it's online, so you will have to prepare slides. Prepare an activity in the beginning, 2-minute activity to introduce your lesson, to make it interesting. Then do your main lesson. Try to finish it in 30 minutes. Don't make it very complicated. And then do a small activity at the end, 2 or 3 minutes, to do like a reflection. When you give your demo, treat your interviewer as a student. They're very excited when you treat them like that. You ask them questions and you be like, good job, because they see that you're very confident. I can't speak. People around me are talking. I'm sorry also because I cannot hear a lot of people very well. I talked about portfolio. I'm a science teacher. I have portfolio of my project. Portfolio for teaching is different than doing your research. Basically, portfolio in teaching means that you have all of your resources, your worksheets, your activities in one file. You have pictures of activities that you did with your students. You have worksheets that are like, for one lesson, you have 2 worksheets. One is for regular students and one is for students that are a little bit weak. So that's a portfolio. You have extra like games sessions that you have prepared, any like quiz, flashcards, anything. That I'm talking about teaching portfolio, not your research, because you're applying for a teaching job. If you're applying for a teaching job, everything has to be related to teaching. They don't really even care about your master's and bachelor's research projects. Rarely do they ask about it. Asma Riaz is asking, Miss, what teacher teach in English class? IGCSE. IGCSE is the board. OA levels is the level of exams that they're giving. IGCSE, the International General Certificate of Education. That's the certificate the students get when they apply for OA levels. And you, as an English teacher, it depends what kind of students do you teach. All of my education and research and certification was for secondary and adult students. So I teach secondary students to higher secondary. If you have middle school experience, like grade 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, then it's middle school. You have primary 1 to 3. If you have pre-primary, elementary level, so that's elementary. Talking about syllabus in language, syllabus covers everything: language, literature, writing, reading, listening, speaking, everything.
Hello, ma'am. I have 2 questions. What was your
Yes.
topic in demo, and can you share some globally teaching methods?
Sorry, please say it again. What was my what?
What was your topic in demo during interview?
My topic in demo. I never had a demo. I don't know. They didn't ask a demo from me.
Okay. What share some globally teaching methods. Can you share some globally teaching methods?
Global teaching methods can be like using differentiation, using inclusivity. Differentiation is like a technique where you always prepare one extra worksheet in your classroom for a student that is weak. You have like if there's a weak student in your class and you have a lecture, so you have like two sets of questions that you ask your student. One is for regular students, and then one is a set of questions during your lecture. You're like, do you get me, or do you understand? Those are the regular questions teacher are doing, right? But sometimes we have ICQs or CCQs, concept check questions, which is like we break down the concept and we're like, okay, for example, we have a student and I'm like, so what did I just say? Okay, I said this. Can you explain it in your words? Okay, and then you encourage them to answer. So these are a few techniques.
What question was asked from you during interview?
What questions were asked to me during my interview?
Yes.
They did an introduction. I told them about my teaching experience. The thing is that luckily my hiring manager was also an English language teacher, but he was the administrator for British section. But his experience of teaching was in English. So he was very well familiar with most of the things. So we just had a very general conversation about how to deal with neurodivergent students like ADHD and autism and everything. But the basic questions were introduction, teaching experience, qualifications, and that's it. And like teaching, he also asked me about lesson planning and how do I treat my students if there is any disturbance in the class. That's it. Literally, that's it. It was not a very long interview.
It means he's just asking from you skills.
Skills?
They have asked from you just like skills in classroom management.
Yeah, classroom management skills, like how do you like to put your students in, like there are some teachers who never take class with individual students. They always put them like in a circle or in a group or in like two teams. So you can say that. Then there's like some traditions teacher follow, like certain teachers like to start their every single lesson with like a video. So you can say that. Maybe some like to start every single lesson with a game. So those can be things. Then it says a skill could be how can you switch between writing activity and reading activities, and how can you switch between lectures and Q&A sessions. So that's it.
Okay, may share in the end of this meeting handouts of this session.
They will share the recording with you. They will share the recording.
Okay, because there is some problem with connection.
Ma'am, can I ask the question?
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, I have typed also. Ma'am, I have made my CV from my thoughts channel and they have mentioned my government sector experience. Actually, I'm working as a government teacher. And is it beneficial for me to secure job in KSA?
Oh, okay. That's a very personal preference thing. I'm sorry. I know a lot of candidates who are in government jobs are applying outside. Honestly, it's your personal choice. If you think you have the qualities that you think you can survive abroad in any country as a teacher, and you think you will be able to earn enough, so yes, sure. I would suggest that you can apply and see what kind of range are you applying for, like how much do you think you can earn, and the responsibility of teaching and the teaching hours and everything. And if you do land, then you can evaluate if your government job is better or your private. It's honestly a personal choice. Most of the people who are trying to get a government job, they don't go anywhere else because it's like secure. You're at least getting paid, and then you know that one day you will retire, so it will be secure enough. So it's really about you or taking a risk. Up to you.
And ma'am, one more question. In last session, ma'am mentioned that they preferred mostly single person. Or I have a question that married person have a scope for securing jobs?
That's no, that's not true. No. See, the thing with married people is, or with families, especially children, is that what happens during the interview, the first interview you do, a lot of teachers are like, the day we come to Saudi Arabia, we are going to bring our family with us. That's not fair, because the most of the teachers, when they come to Saudi Arabia, they are here on a probation for 3 months, because they are going to check if you're a good teacher. But if you are going to demand that you want to bring your family on the day one, so it's big responsibility for the school. So instead, I always tell the people around me, to the candidates, that never say that you want to bring your family like permanently. Always say that in future, I'm stable enough, I would love to have my family over here for a visit. Say it like this. So even if you have plans to bring your family over here, the school will be like, okay, a visit is fine, because everybody wants to at least come for an Umrah or a Hajj, right? So the school will not get pressurized into like showing the Iqama and doing all of the processes. So I would suggest that during your first interviews, please do not mention that you want to bring your family. Even if you do want to, just say that inshallah in future I would love for my family to have a visit. That's it. Never, again, I just told you before, never overshare, never share your personal details. So please don't tell them your real intentions.
Okay, ma'am. And if we arrange some permanent visa type thing through some person, is it feasible for the candidate, or is it beneficial for this?
Permanent visa? What is that?
Ma'am, a person who is working in KSA for at least 5 years, she mentioned that if you buy a permanent visa from any agency, or if you have a permanent visa to stay in KSA, you will find 100% job security. You will find job
Sorry.
for.
Okay. I see. Okay. It's not permanent. It's called a transferable Iqama. Basically, that's kind of like you buy an Iqama, like you buy the residence card, and then you come here. And it's not permanent. It's valid for, I don't know, like 1 year or something. And in that 1 year, if you're usually, yes, a lot of schools, honestly, it doesn't matter if you have a transferable Iqama or not. The school will always, they will have to give you their own Iqama, because like they don't have work visa over here, so they do Iqama, work Iqama. So if you have a transferable Iqama, the process is small, so they don't have to wait a long time to issue like bank accounts and your upshare, like your government details and everything. For other people, like for example me, I came here on a visa, 3 month I was on probation, and then got my Iqama from the school, which is completely fine also. Most of the people come here like that, but really it does not matter. It does not matter at all. And I should also tell you this, that the transferable Iqama is a little bit expensive than the school process, because the school Iqama is something you don't pay out of your pocket. You only pay for your documents and your work outside Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, like your medical and your culture and everything. So when you come to Saudi Arabia, you don't have to spend any money. But if you're doing transferable Iqama, that's basically you buying everything. So it's up to you. If you think you can afford that and you think it's no problem, so yeah, sure, buy it, come here, apply to jobs if you can, and you can get it. But you can also get it without it, no problem.
Thank you so
Assalamu
very
alaikum,
much.
ma'am.
Walaikum assalam.
जी ma'am, I want to ask that can we switch the school when we once go in a Saudi Arabia? If
Obviously,
we
yes.
get like ma'am, then there is no issue from school.
Issue,
Like
okay.
मैम मैं
So
ये
there's
पूछना चाह रही हूँ कि हम अगर सऊदीया चले जाते हैं और वहां पे मतलब हमें एक स्कूल अपने उस पे लेके जाते हैं और हम वहां पे जॉब ले लेते हैं, और अगर हमें उससे बेटर कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है किसी और स्कूल में, तो हम स्विच कर सकते हैं?
आप बिल्कुल स्विच कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उसका प्रॉपर तरीका होता है कि आपको स्कूल को 3 मंथ का नोटिस देना पड़ता है, और फिर आप स्कूल चेंज करते हैं। तो फिर उतने उसमें ये होता है कि वो आपका ये स्कूल जो आपका करंट स्कूल होता है वो आपका इकामा खत्म कैंसिल करता है, और फिर उसके बाद नया स्कूल आपका एक नया इकामा इशू करता है।
और मैम मतलब जिस स्कूल में हम जा रहे थे वहां पे कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वगैरह होता है, मतलब हमने वहां उतना टाइम रहना होता है कि हम मतलब जा सकते हैं कहीं भी?
आप कहीं भी जा सकते हैं, कहीं भी जाने का मतलब, आई एम सॉरी, आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड।
मीन्स कहीं भी जाने का मतलब दूसरे स्कूल मैम, किसी और स्कूल मतलब हम
Oh,
जा
you mean
सकते हैं?
moving, shifting? आपको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन करना पड़ता है ऑब्वियसली। आप जहां भी जाएंगे काम के लिए, चाहे आपके पास कोई भी काम हो, आपको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन करना पड़ेगा। लेकिन यस, देयर इज ऑलवेज अ क्लॉज
ओके
कि
ओके।
अगर आपको अपनी जॉब फिनिश करनी है तो आपको इतने मंथ का नोटिस देना है।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम मैम।
यस। प्लीज एवरीबडी एल्स म्यूट योरसेल्फ।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
यस। वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
Ma'am, I have a question. I am currently serving as a secondary school mathematics teacher in education department since 2016, but I don't have any international school system experience like Cambridge, many others which are generally. So, beside my education, government experience, I am teaching from a day one as a lecturer mathematics part time. Means in colleges
Yeah.
that they have affiliation from any university to BS classes and master's
Yeah,
classes,
yes.
and I'm still teaching at that level. So I have a teaching experience at a master's level and teaching experience at a secondary level, but I
Yeah.
don't have any experience of international school system. How they will consider me? Will
No,
they
that
consider
is
me?
not a problem at all. It's not a problem at all. The only thing you need to do is that you can put it in your CV, no problem. Just read about the Cambridge system, because knowing subject matter is important. And knowing like how modern classrooms work is important. Even if you don't know anything about Cambridge, you can just learn about it. And then in your interview, you can say that I have enough knowledge of the curriculum. And
Yes,
that's it.
I do have enough knowledge about Cambridge, their examination system, their
Yeah, so that's,
certification.
plus you have
All
teaching experience. So usually it's all about like how you present yourself in the interview. So if you present yourself as a teacher who has very good experience in teaching, and you know how to conduct a classroom in a modern environment, and you know how the
exactly.
Cambridge curriculum works, then yes, you can be selected.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll just go back to the
Ma'am,
chat
I
because
want,
there's, okay, yes, who is it?
ma'am, I want to know that one thing, that during the interview, the panel also do the subject-based questions or not, to check the
Yes,
knowledge
yes,
of
yes.
candidate.
They always do subject and related questions, a lot of them. Sometimes like they will ask you depending on your subject. Usually they will have a teacher with them, or a subject head who will do these questions with you. So if, for example, it's a computer science thing or it's a mathematics subject, so they will have a mathematics teacher sitting there to ask you math related questions.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.